Okay, long time no see. I'm just gonna get that out of the blue. And yes, I know I haven't been posting, but hear me out. It's kind of hard to post when you don't go to any theme parks or amusement parks. How are you just supposed to like sit in your house and get quality content? That's what I used to do because I was grinding and I went to Kings Island all the time. Well, good news. I went to Cedar Point and I have a couple videos coming out. This is going to be the top 10 airtime moments because I'm going to continue my series of airtime moments. Kings Island was top 5 because that's the airtime moments there, nothing compared to the ones at Cedar Point. So this has a top 10. I tried to get it in the top 5 and I was like, I can't. So I had to extend it to top 10. So today we're going to be doing the top 10 Cedar Point coasters. And we're just going to kick this right off. And just going to let you know, the Cedar Point review will be coming in a couple days. And possibly some other Cedar Point ideas. So I can just keep kind of pushing that content out. But yeah, let's just get right into it, starting off at number 10. Alright, starting off at number 10, we have Millennium Force's first airtime hill. It's kind of the one where you go down in the first drop, go around, and then it's just the first big one. There's also another one right next to it, which we'll get to later. But this one, I really thought had no airtime at all. I've heard people say they got airtime off of it, and I just don't think that, I don't know, I just don't think that I really got that much airtime. So, I was really expecting airtime. It's a giant hill and you're going probably 80 miles an hour, but you're kind of in your seat, and I kind of like try to give myself airtime, like making my body go limp and everything, like everybody does, and it just didn't work. So yeah, this had to be pretty low, and because I kind of just had to stick this in here at the bottom. This would have been nowhere near the list if we would have been able to fit everything into a top 5. So, but we had to move it into a top 10 because there are so many coasters at Cedar Point with amazing airtime. So let's just head on to number 9, and we will make this video start going a little bit faster, but we will get more in depth towards like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, at number 9, this is going to be the Top Hat on Top Thrill Dragster coming down because I was sitting in the back row. Just let me say, I've heard that this has great airtime sitting in the back seat coming down, and I was kind of underwhelmed because the airtime was just mediocre. So when I got pulled over, down over that drop, it was kind of just, I wasn't really focusing on airtime going 120 miles an hour, I guess. But it was kind of airtime. I was expecting, not like Steel Vengeance airtime or anything, but it was pretty great. I was expecting like some pretty good floater at the least, but didn't even get that. So I did get a little bit, tiny bit, ejector pop, maybe 0.3 seconds, but that's why it has to be down at number 9 on this list. Alright, number 8, y'all are gonna bash me for this, but this is the hill on Steel Vengeance, the Top Hat right after the first drop. And you guys might not bash me, but this is really good airtime. I'm not gonna lie, it's floater, the hill that comes after it is higher. It's higher on this list, I will tell you that. But yeah, this offered some pretty good floater, like some ejector and some floater, so it was pretty good and sustained. But it kind of, after you think about it and you look back on the ride and you're like, what things did I remember about Steel Vengeance? Like, you remember the outward bank? Do you remember the inversions going through the wood? Do you ever remember remember the Top Hat? Like the first hill. It's called a Top Hat. I know people are like, it's not a Top Hat, it's literally a hill. But it doesn't ever bank, so they call it a Top Hat. And people are probably like, why would you put that like this low? Well, because now the more that I think about it, when you look back onto the list, like look back onto your Steel Vengeance, you're like, okay, things I really liked. Outward banked airtime hill. Inversions. Going through the structure. Last round of airtime hills. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of a forgotten part of the ride. So that's why I just kind of put it this low. It is a great moment of airtime, don't get me wrong. It's better than like probably the 2 above it. But I kind of just had to put it low because how like forgotten it is. And it's not its fault. Like, it's not airtime hill's fault. It's in a great ride. So you can't really do anything about it. So this is getting kind of long. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, so some of y'all are going to bash me for this. But like, number 7 is the Millennium Force first drop. And, my my rides on Millennium Force were so weird. I got like 3rd row, 8th row, 5th row. Like, they did not let you assign seats at all. Some rides I did, because I got Maverick front row 2 times, the 2 times I rode it. And then Seal Vengeance, I got like 6th row. Something so random. And I was so mad. I was looking forward to Seal Vengeance so much, and I got like 6th row on it. But anyway, let's talk about this first drop. So, in my rides where I was sitting towards the front, you know, you get airtime as you're going down. Like, kind of already as you're going down. But when I was sitting towards the back, as I was getting pulled over, I started to get airtime. So in the back, it's definitely better. But since it's not good overall, I'm going to have to put it like kind of lower on this list. Don't get me wrong, it's a really great moment of floater airtime. You're floating out of your seat, just only the lap bar is going to hold you in. Speaking of lap bar, that is a great restraint. This was my first occurrence with intimate T-bars that I rode it on Millennium Force and Top Thrill Dragster. Absolutely great for airtime. Like, they do not interfere with airtime at all. Like, they're absolutely amazing. So yeah, this first drop is just absolute floater coming down this, and I don't have too much to say about it. It's a first drop. If you've rode a Giga, like, you know, it's not. I wouldn't say it's better than Orion's first drop, and guys are gonna say you're biased because Orion you're at your home park. No, not really, because Orion has like a longer first drop, and I think it's a steeper angle. It's 85 degrees. So I'm not really being biased. It just has a way better first drop. Not way better, but it's a pretty good first drop. Alright, coming in at number 6, I think, we got the Magnum XL 200 Bunny Hills. Now, these things slap. I was like expecting to be hurt, and I'm pretty sure I was sitting in that magic seat Airtime Throws was talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go find one of his videos where he talks about it. I have no clue. But I was sitting and I got airtime, such good airtime on every single one of those hills. I'm telling you, dude, just airtime after airtime after airtime after airtime. And I was expecting Magnum XL to be rough, not fun. I was expecting those airtime hills to be rough and uncomfortable, and those restraints did not bother me at all. I don't know why everybody like hates on them. I'm sure if I rode Sky Rush, I'd hate the restraints, but I didn't really hate these restraints at all. So anyway, those last airtime hills is just ejector, and I got a seat where I got ejector, floater, ejector, floater, ejector, floater. It was kind of towards the back, but not quite. But it was incredible. Like, those last like 7 hills are some of the best like consecutive moments of airtime I've ever had. Probably the best if we're talking about like consecutive airtime, not strong airtime, which I'm basing this list off of. So yeah, this like just listen to me on this. When you go to Cedar Point, POVs don't do justice at all. Because Maverick, I haven't even got to a single airtime moment on this, and I thought the airtime was going to be like Diamondback. And let me just say, I have not felt airtime until I went to Cedar Point. So, the airtime at Cedar Point, the collection of airtime at Cedar Point is absolutely insane. And I thought Kings Island had incredible, amazing, insane airtime, and I was so wrong. Well, it does, but obviously it's not like insane, because then I went to Cedar Point and I gotta get to Six Flags Great Adventure. But anyway, back to Magnum. These hills, I don't know what to say, like, it's ejector and then floater like 7 times in a row, and it's just so rapid fire. It's just back to back, and these hills are shaped like a triangle. It's literally just insane. I don't know how to explain it. Like, POVs don't do it justice. You have to get out there and ride it. They're absolutely insane. Now, this was something I wasn't really expecting. Coming in at number 5, we have the Maverick first drop. Let me just say, if we're talking about unexpected airtime, this was it. Because this was my first Beyond Vertical drop, and holy crap. So, I'm probably going to make a restraint video, but I'm going to talk about the restraints and like for the rest of this video and talk about how they affected my ride. So, anyway, first ride on Maverick, front row. I pulled out my restraint. This was my first time with intimate over-the-shoulder soft padded restraints. And it was sitting on my lap, and I was like, oh my god, these are so uncomfortable. And then to make it better, the ride-up comes up and pushes it down, which they did at Cedar Point all day. They pushed it down, and it was absolutely squeezing my thighs. and I absolutely hated it, but it is what it is, I guess. It was so uncomfortable, but did it affect the first drop? No. So on the first two, so there's two elements on Maverick that are kind of up in the top 5. So I don't think I felt my seat. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, you might be like, think I'm over exaggerating or something, but like, my butt was not on my seat. It was just up into the restraints, and I was sitting in the front, so it probably wasn't as good as the back seat. But if I got this good airtime on the front, I'm just like imagining the back seat. It is good. It is absolutely great airtime. It's just you go over the top ejector until you bottom out, and it's only 105 feet, but it feels pretty. It doesn't feel big, but it is just such a great moment of airtime that you don't think about. It's only 105 feet, so I don't understand how this short drop could be this good. I was not anticipating that at all. Like, I went down the drop and I was just cracking up laughing. I was so like in shock. I was so like, when you ride a roller coaster and something shocks you and you're just cracking up laughing. That's how I was. This moment of airtime is just absolutely crazy, and I love it. It's probably one of my favorite moments in the park. Like, moments, not airtime moments, just moments in the park. I absolutely love this moment. It's crazy ejector into floater until you bottom out, and it's not the biggest drop. That's why I kind of had to put it lower. But this is absolutely insane airtime. So I'm just gonna cut this down a little bit and get to the next part. All right, please do not mash me. But at number 4, we have the Steel Vengeance first drop. Okay, I understand you guys are probably gonna bash me just because it's Steel Vengeance. Do you need Steel Vengeance Top Hat 3, Steel Vengeance first drop 2? Like, Steel Vengeance is great and all, but it wasn't my favorite at the park. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, so at number 4. Yes, number 4. Sorry. We have the Steel Vengeance first drop. Now, I was anticipating like a drop like Diamondback, I guess, because it's a hyper, and I don't really ever get airtime on Diamondback. Airtime Thrills does apparently, but I don't. So, and I was going down this drop, and holy crap. You're not on your seat. If they give you room, you're not on your seat. You are just, this is your restraint, that's you. You're just up against it, because this is a 90-degree drop, and I was like, wow, that is an amazing drop. That's the best drop at the park. But, like, this is Mavericks, and this is Steel Vengeance. Like, that's Millennium. God, it's such a good first drop. I only got one ride on Steel Vengeance, though, and I'm so sad about it, because the first day at Cedar Point was kind of busy. It wasn't busy at all. I walked onto every ride. I got on Steel Vengeance in about 5 minutes. That had the longest line, too, and I got on in about 5 minutes. But back to this first drop, you crest over this hill, and you're starting to come down, and it just kind of, like, you're like, this is where this train is, and you're coming over that first drop, and you're just like, and you're just sitting there. Like, it feels like a long first drop because how much airtime you're getting. It's not as good as Millennium Force, Orion. It's not as good as those first drops. I'm not going to say that it's better just because it's Steel Vengeance. It's the best coaster in the world. But it still has an amazing first drop. Definitely in like my top 5 drops of all time. So let's just hurry on and get to number 3. Alright, coming in at number 3, we have the Millennium Force second airtime hill. And this is the airtime hill that is right beside the other big one that gives you kind of no airtime. But this one is no exception. It literally, you're coming over and you just float out of your seat. And this hill is pretty big. It's pretty like wide. So you're just floating down this. And then you turn into the ejector hill, which is not on this list. Because I didn't get airtime on it. I got like, maybe. But like, it's, this second airtime hill makes the first airtime hill look stupid. And it's like, so say, like, it's a big distance shorter, and it makes the other hill look weak. And you're flying through that one at 80, and you're going through this one at like 60, and it's incredible, because this one is absolutely insane. And me and my dad were talking about it, because me and my dad go to all the coaster trips, and my dad was like, that second hill was insane. I was like, I know. He said I didn't touch my seat the whole time. And it's because of those T-bar restraints, but he said it feels like you're already straight for like 7 seconds. And I was like, it is insane. So, like, I had to put it this high up because how me and my dad react. Millennium Force, I rode the most. I rode it about 7 times. But just to get that airtime moment, it's great. So I'm gonna have to move onto the next on this list, and that is coming right up. All right, coming in at number 2, we have the Maverick Airtime Hill, and this airtime. You're talking about the first drop on Maverick, right? Talking about the first drop on Maverick. That was okay. Maverick was okay. And then this though, you talk about not touching your seat. You get thrown into your shoulder pads. Crazy ejector. And this hill is like not that tall. And you fly over it. And it's not sustained at all. But how strong it is gets it this high on the list. The POVs are like, oh wow, it flies over that. But you don't expect this much airtime. It's crazy. And you absolutely fly over this hill. And you get thrown into your restraints. And oh my god, this is probably why I love Maverick so much. And people say Maverick is so overrated, but you can't say that because it's in the same park as Steel Vengeance. And people love it so much, and then they're like, oh my god, it's so overrated. But it's not. I'm telling you, Maverick is such a good ride. If you've never rode it, it's such a good ride. It's probably as good as Steel Vengeance. If you're not focusing on Steel Vengeance being the best coaster in the world, you're focusing on Steel Vengeance being another coaster. Not critically acclaimed. Because if your standards are so high, like mine were for Steel Vengeance, you're gonna get off and be like, wow, that was good, but you know what I mean. But this airtime hill, let me tell you, it's insane. It's absolutely insane, and I can't say enough about it. It's just ejector, the whole way there, like the whole way down. It's such a good moment of the ride. All right, coming in at number 1, this was probably very anticipated. We have the Outward Banked Airtime Hill on Steel Vengeance. Is Steel Vengeance my favorite coaster in the park? Probably. I said no earlier in the video, but it probably is, like, the more I think about it. But it's like, I think Maverick is pretty close to beating it, just because of how fun Maverick is. But Steel Vengeance, that Outward Banked Airtime Hill, we got off of that ride, and my dad was like, how did we even stay on the track? Because you go through this with so much speed, and it's just tearing you the other way, and your body wants to go up, but the track wants to go down, and you know what that means. Crazy ejector, float down. Oh my god. This moment of airtime is so insane. I can't even, describe how incredible this moment of airtime his moment of airtime is. It's absolutely insane, and I love it. It's crazy ejector. Like, I don't know what else to say. It's probably better than El Toro's double camelbacks. Haven't rode them, but I would probably say it is because you get absolutely ripped one way while the track's trying to go the other way. So, like, what do you expect? And it's sustained, and it's a giant hill. So, like, it's like the Maverick Airtime Hill, which has the craziest airtime, plus being sustained. Like, that's why it has to be number 1 on this list. And I know probably all of you are expecting this. Like, you have to ride it if you have, to experience the airtime. I'm not saying go out and ride it. I'm saying, if you want to talk crap about Steel Vengeance and say it's number 2 in the world, but behind Intimidator 305, Coaster Frenzy, you have to ride it, okay? But this was my list, and thank you guys for watching so much. If you do want to see if you do want to see more videos about Cedar Point, just recommend some stuff down in the comments, and I will likely look at those, and I will look into them. But I will probably have a restraint video coming out, Cedar Point review, maybe a Cedar Point review. I know I said it would be coming out, but maybe a Cedar Point review. And one more else. Oh, my top 10 at Cedar Point. So just 3 more videos, and I'll probably think of some more. I'll probably do Millennium Force versus Orion, because those are getting so, and I'm gonna go over first drop, airtime, stuff like that, elements. So I'm gonna be looking forward to making those, and I hope you guys are looking forward to watching those. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm really looking forward into making those videos, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.